Imagine this. You walk into a bank full of hope, maybe to buy your first home, your dream car, or simply to apply for a credit card. You're confident because you've been working hard, saving every dollar you can, and paying your bills on time. But then, the banker looks at your file, shakes their head, and says the words that feel like a punch in the stomach. Sorry, your credit score isn't good enough. Suddenly, all your hard work, all your discipline, all your honest efforts to live a decent life get reduced to just a 3-digit number. A number that most people don't even fully understand, but one that decides whether you get to move forward in life or stay stuck. Credit scores in America are marketed as a system to measure your financial trustworthiness. Banks, lenders, even landlords, and sometimes employers use this score to judge you. It's supposed to be a fair calculation of how responsible you are with money. But here's the dark truth. Credit scores are less about your responsibility and more about a carefully designed system that benefits banks, lenders, and the credit bureaus themselves. It's a business model that thrives on fear and dependency. And once you realize how this system actually works, you start to see that it's not about helping you, it's about controlling you. Let's take a step back. Most Americans grow up being told that having a good credit score is the key to financial success. From a young age, you're encouraged to get a credit card, start building your credit, and maintain a healthy score. But what does healthy even mean? The reality is that your credit score doesn't measure how wealthy you are, how much you save, or even how responsible you are with your finances. It only measures how profitable you are to lenders. If you pay off everything in cash and never take a loan, your score might actually be low. If you don't use credit cards, your score might stay stagnant. In other words, the system punishes financial independence. You are rewarded not for being debt-free, but for being a consistent borrower who pays just enough to keep the banks happy. And here's where it gets even darker. The credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, are private companies. They are not government institutions. Yet, they hold more power over your life than most government agencies. They collect your financial data, calculate your score, and sell that information to lenders. Yes, you heard that right. They profit by selling your financial history. And if there's a mistake in your credit report, which happens shockingly often, it's your job to prove them wrong. You have to fight to fix errors that you didn't even cause. Meanwhile, those errors can cost you higher interest rates, denied loans, or even rejection from renting an apartment. Think about how the system traps ordinary people. Let's say you miss a single payment due to an emergency, maybe a medical bill or a family crisis. That one mistake can haunt you for years, lowering your score and making future loans more expensive. On the other hand, if you keep borrowing money and paying just enough interest every month, your score goes up. This means the system literally rewards debt and punishes struggle. It's not about financial health. It's about how much money the banks can squeeze out of you over time. The psychological manipulation here is enormous. People are taught to obsess over their score, checking it constantly, living in fear of losing a few points. This fear pushes you to stay in the cycle of borrowing, repaying, and borrowing again, just to keep your score safe. Credit card companies, banks, and lenders thrive on this cycle. It keeps you locked into a lifetime of dependency on financial institutions. The darker truth is that the credit system was never designed for your financial freedom. It was designed for corporate profit. Now, let's talk about how this impacts daily life. Want to rent an apartment? Landlords check your credit. Want to buy a car? The dealership checks your credit. Want to start a business with a loan? The bank checks your credit. In some cases, even employers check your credit before offering you a job. That means your entire life, your home, your transportation, your career, can be held hostage by this 3-digit number. And the irony is, the people who struggle the most are the ones punished hardest. The poor, the working class, people with medical debts or student loans, they get trapped with low scores and higher interest rates, making it nearly impossible to ever escape the cycle. And let's not forget scandals like the Equifax data breach in 2017, where the personal information of over 140 million Americans was stolen. These are the very companies that demand trust, yet they can't even protect the data they profit from. It shows how vulnerable the system really is, and yet people are forced to depend on it because there's no alternative.